Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us as we continue on. At the moment, if we have a look at the checkpoints from the first checkpoint, Slaughter and Sons stop the clock at 30.275 seconds, clearly in first place there. As we can see in checkpoint 2, Bunghole Liquor, really the big movers of the field there. They have jumped from 5th to 1st. And they have quite a sizable lead at checkpoint 2 of nearly 3 seconds over the rest of the field there. Slaughter and Sons there have just dropped down to 2nd spot. And the other team that you need to look out for is Plummet Airways, as they have continued to drop down. In checkpoint 3, Bunghole Liquor still leading out just by a second over Power Genitalia, who had a very good third sector, as they have actually jumped from 5th to 2nd at that point in time. Plummet Airways dropping down, as have Slaughter and Sons. Those time differences there too, very significant. 16 seconds for Plummet Airways from Bunghole Liquor there, and Slaughter and Sons 14 seconds. They've had a really bad couple of sectors there, and they've really dropped out of contention for the stage at this point in time. If we have a look at checkpoint 4 now, Bunghole Liquor really continuing on their powerful surge across this track. 6 seconds clear of Power Genitalia, who have maintained 2nd spot at this point in time, and the rest of the field is pretty well the same there. Plummet Airways actually last there. I would expect that Slaughter and Sons should be able to overthrow them once they hit that checkpoint. And the final standings thus far, we've only had 2 teams finish, and as you can see, Power Genitalia actually had a very poor final sector there, remembering that Skullduggery got caught up on that final spinner for quite a while, so that actually set them back significantly. And as you can see, STD Contractors, who have always been there or thereabouts, you have a look at there, they've been pretty consistent, 4th, 3rd, and 3rd at each of the checkpoints. And they have actually moved into 1st place at this point in time. Congratulations to them, but as you can see, there are still 10 other teams to finish. And let us hand over now to the next part of the course. We are going to pick up with Plummet Airways, and here we go. As we're following Samsung now as he looks to negotiate the spinner and go into the black section. Through the portal now and down the hill. Has not really been hindered by that spinner there, and he's moving quite well. Just preparing to go through the bottom portal now and into the yellow section. Remembering that Plummet Airways, after a bright start, have actually dropped down a lot of places and lost a lot of time. So Samsung will be looking to retrieve that situation. And now we flick back to Bunghole Liquor, and they are looking to beat the time of 9:51.200, which was set by the STD Contractors. Craven Moorhead moving with purpose. His time looks good at the moment, 9:26, with a little bit of room to move there. So all being well, Craven might be able to set a new fastest time as he comes up to the final spinner. Let's see how he negotiates that. Held up slightly, but not too badly, and he's through there now and preparing to go up the hill. So as you can see, the timings across the bottom of the screen now. So Craven has quite a few seconds to play with here, so he is definitely going to stop the clock with the fastest time on course thus far. And he stops the clock there at 9:44.600. So a handy nearly 7-second lead there. As we flick back to Sherlock Holmes, and there is the man himself, Dick Splash, and we're following him at the moment. He's dead last at the moment, but again, there's a long way to go. Continuing down the hill. And up we go, guaranteed into the ladder now. And let's see how they can go. They're progressing quite nicely here, and they have stopped the clock in 3rd fastest time at the moment, so 30 seconds, .549. Just a smidge behind Bowles Frigdy and moving quite well. Slaughter and Sons still the best time at the checkpoint at this point in time as we continue on with Gary Teed as he negotiates the course. Coming up to the spinner now, let's see how Teed manages that. He's been hit and flung back. You can see Mega Chat in the distance there. Teed through the first spinner. and held up by the second one. This is going to be a bit problematic for them. Mega Chad's caught up now, and Barry Turnips as well, but they're both struggling to get through. There's Arse Biscuits as well. Now we've flicked back to Bowles Friggy, and they are looking to continue along the merry way. They started quite well. I think they're currently seconds from the first checkpoint, but they have indeed dropped time there. Down to fifth now, so 2:08, 3:30, and nearly 5 seconds off the leaders there. So they'd be a bit disappointed with that sector. And Rema Mandeep is going to lead them into the blue section and up the ramp. And up he goes. He's going to try and drop down, but he's got a lot of momentum here. I think he's going to fly past. He has. And there's Goldschmeckel dropping down, and we will see how he negotiates the next part. Been flung around there, which means that Ben Dover, in fact, has been the one to drop down first. So congratulations to Ben. And now we're riding with Dixie Normus from Slaughter and Sons, and they have stopped the clock as the third fastest time. They are still a good 8 seconds behind Bunghole Liquor though, so they will really need to pick up some speed through this yellow section. And there's Dixie Normus and Chubby Cox going through together, hitting this nail section, but they're actually progressing quite nicely through here, and Chubby has taken the lead, so congratulations there. As we're back with Plummet Airways now, and Samsung is looking to lead his team into the ladder. Over he goes. Hooker Cockram to come up very shortly. And Plummet Airways trying to make up some ground here. They're looking like they're actually progressing quite nicely. 9:27 on the clock so far, and Samsung is on the last part of the course. The only real problem to come will be that penultimate spinner before they cross the finish line. So Samsung into the dish now, 9:37. So probably not going to trouble Bunghole Liquor because they did a very impressive 9:44. But let's see how Samsung negotiates this spinner down here. And he's been just held up slightly. Yeah, that's going to cost him. But all being well, he should still be able to beat the second place. Although he's starting to struggle now, although he's through now. The time to beat 9:44 has gone. At STD Contractors at 9:51, that time is going to go as well by the looks, so they're going to be trying to get inside Power Genitalia's 9:54, 1:30, and they have managed to do so. So third fastest on the course at the moment as we flick to Hooker Cockram. And off they go now. Following the boys down, and it looks like Wet Farts is actually leading them down at the moment. Just slightly held up through the marbles here, and another one there as Fleaballs actually flies past him and gets the better of the run, and Wet Farts rejoins the lead there as he goes into the ladder. Time to beat 30.275 seconds by Slaughter and Sons. Let's see how well these guys can actually negotiate that. Bart's crossing over now, but we have the slowest time at checkpoint 1 here, 33.206 seconds. A good 3 seconds or thereabouts behind Slaughter and Sons' impressive first checkpoint time. As we continue on with Wet Farts as he continues to lead his team down the course. Doug Fleaball's right behind him, and they are basically dueling for the lead there at the moment. Eaton Beaver as well coming through, and Joe Kerr as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they reach the spinner, how badly that's going to shake things up. Beaver in there first. And Fleaball seems to have got the better run through, held up on the second spinner, and Beaver and Wet Farts are through, but yep, it looks like Fleaball's went through first there. Back with Ditcher, Quick and Hide there, and Bob's Your Uncle, and they are progressing quite nicely. But the time they're trying to beat is Bunghole Liquor's 3:46.597. I think they're going to be outside of that. So they'll be trying to get as close to it as possible, but they're struggling here. In they go at 3:52.223. So the fourth fastest at this point in time of the course. Nicked off there in second spot for his team. And then you have Drew Peacock and Crystal Ball at the back there. Your uncle taking them into the purple section now and preparing for the loop-de-loop there, and then ultimately the Ring of Fire drop. And we have Sherlock Holmes there with Mega Chad going through first there. Time to beat here, 2:03.714 as Mega Chad and the veteran Jerry Attrick move down the course. Attrick has taken the lead now, going down the corkscrew and into the checkpoint, but they are well off the pace there. Sixth fastest at 209.422 as Barry Turnips joins the veteran on the ladder there. So they'll be a bit disappointed, but the thing they do have in their favour is the fact that pretty well all their team is together. They haven't lost any of their competitors yet, which is something that has hindered some of the other teams as Attrick flies up the ramp now looking for the drop. He's dropped down and into the blue section. As we flick back to bend over now from Bowes Frigdy. Time to beat here, 3:46.597. They are well outside of that, and they are going to try and get in before the back runners there. Slaughter and Sons is at 4 minutes, 5:52 there. And Bowes Frigdy finished 5th fastest, so they continue their slide down the list. So a good 11 seconds off the pace there as Dover and Levi Goldschmeckel continue into the purple section together. Back with Chubby Cox from Slaughter and Sons now as they move into the bottom dish and then hopefully soon into the ladder. Just coming into that ladder now, just held up slightly by that spinner. There is Chubby Cox, and then onto that back ladder now. Into the last gravity well as we are waiting for the Come Down Bar and Restaurant to hit the start finish line and start their campaign. Slaughter and Sons have got a bit to do here at 9:40 already, so remembering that Bunghole Liquor stopped the clock at 9:44. So Chubby Cox is doing his best to get through, but Bunghole Liquor's time has already gone through, and they are looking now to better STD Contractors' time there. Chubby Cox has gone through 9:47 when he went through that section. So 9:51.200, the time to beat if they want to get inside the STD Contractors' time. They're not going to do that. They're going to try and get through before Plummet Airways, and they have just done that with just a fraction of a second. As the Come Down Bar and Restaurant fly down the course now, we have Tokyo Sex Whale and Scott Krebs, the Kiwi sensation, leading the way. Krebs still going there, and there's Lord Harry Dixon Balls taking the lead and going into the ladder first. He's been flung around there, remembering again that this is a very volatile part of the course, and there is a lot of jumbling up that can happen to the course as Harry Dixon Balls crosses the line in a very impressive 30.680 seconds, and they've moved into 4th spot from the first checkpoint. Doing quite well now as we continue to follow Dixon Balls as he negotiates the course. Into the red section now, and it will be interesting to see how they go at the spinners. There is Dixon Balls now hitting the first one and negotiating that quite well. He's through, and he's through on the second one as well. So a very good transition through that section can be a very painful part of the course. As we follow on with Flea Balls, and he is actually overshot there. And remember the time to beat here, 2:03.714 from Bunghole Liquor, is one that at the moment Hooker Cockram are pretty well off the pace, remembering at the last checkpoint they were actually 10th fastest, so they're looking to try and improve on that. So they've jumped in at a 2:09.392, so in fact they have picked up 4 spots there, so they've gone from 10th to 6th. And again, they've kept most of their team together quite well, so that will stand them in good stead as they go through the latter parts of the course. As Flea Balls and Eaton Beaver go up as well, and they are both looking to drop down, and Beaver's dropped down straight away into the nail section of the blue and coming up to the spinner here. As we're back with Ditcher Quick and Hide and Bob's Your Uncle looking to hit the 3rd checkpoint now. And they have done quite well. They're in 2nd fastest now, so picking up in that last sector quite well. 7:30.827, a very, very challenging time, and Bob's Your Uncle leading his team very well through the yellow nail section here, which has been notorious for impeding the competitors. We've had quite a few little incidents through here, and even Your Uncle's actually been held up slightly through here. but he's negotiated it successfully. As we follow the veteran Geriatric through the orange and into the pink, looking to stop the clock before 346.597. He's already passed that now. But they are hoping at least to pick up a bit of time on some of their competitors. But alas, they are well down the list, currently 6th fastest at 358.518. The veteran leading them well, but they will be a bit disappointed with the space between their competitors at the moment. Atrick into the gravity well and then into the purple section now. Down now we can see Bend Over from Balsfrigdy and straight down and into the Ring of Fire. Looking to improve on their last standing, so 7:32.694. So they've actually gained another place. So they've come back up after dropping down in that last sector. And Bend Over leading the way and doing a great job for his team as he continues through the nail section. Oh no! Bend Over has actually gone off the edge there. That is tragic. And Remo Mandeep coming through, but quite a few seconds later. So they've lost a bunch of time there. And Remo Mandeep with a lot of work to do as we go back to Come Down. And they are looking to better the time of Bunghole Liquor at the second checkpoint. Probably going to be a little bit outside that as Dixon Balls and Regis Queefer go down together. And Dixon Balls is going to stop the clock first there for them, 2:08.275, the 5th fastest time there at this point in time. So they've just dropped a spot from checkpoint 1 there as Dixon Balls goes up the ramp and into the blue section, looking to drop down. As is Queefer. Queefer's gone past him and yep, Queefer's gone down. So Queefer being the first of the Come Down marbles to drop down. So well done to him. And into the orange section. As we go back to Bob's Your Uncle from Ditcher Quick and Hide, he's progressing very nicely through the big black section, although just slightly held up with the amount of momentum he took into that last ramp. But looking to get through here, he's been forced back there, but then through the portal and into the yellow section now. They made up some decent time in that last sector. Let's see how they can go as Hooker Cockram lead the way. Eaton Beaver coming into the pink section here, and they have started slowly, but let's see how they've done here. Yep, they've regained another couple of spots here, so they are now in 4th spot, 349.143. Handy leading the way for them at the moment, and he's going to lead them into the gravity and the purple section. So well done to Oliver Handy leading his side very well, but Eaton Beaver and Doug Fleaball still there and thereabouts. Remo Mandeep now for Balsfrigdy as we continue to move on. Ginger Pubes and Remo Mandeep fighting it out really for their team at this point in time, and Remo Mandeep continuing to lead the side as we flick back to the veteran from Sherlock Holmes, Geriatric, and now we're looking at him going through the loop-de-loop and into the drop zone, looking to beat the time of 7:25. That's already gone. So Sherlock Holmes a little bit behind the curve at the moment. They are currently stopping the clock 7th fastest, 7:35.432. So a lot of ground for them to make up as the veteran hits the spinner, but continues on without any real problems there. So doing quite well. And now we're looking at Ditcher Quick and Hide and Bob's Your Uncle leading into the last part of the course as Lemon Auto Hire are getting prepared to start off their campaign. Your Uncle through into the checkered part of the course now, 9:24, so they do have a bit of time to work with. Remembering our fastest time at the moment is 9:44.60. And now Your Uncle, it will really depend on how he goes through this spinner, and he's negotiated that very well. So up the hill and going to be challenging the top spot at this point in time. Your Uncle going through now, and he might just be outside the time of Bunghole Liquor, but that's still going to be a very impressive time. In fact, they have actually stopped at fastest, 9:44.380. Congratulations. So stay tuned for part 3 as Lemon Auto Hire and Midnight Spares prepare to take the track. See you then.